Hello, today we're going to be going over how to change out a chain on a electric chainsaw or any chainsaw, but this happens to be a 16-inch Greenworks Commercial 82 CS24. So the first thing is, the most important thing before you get started is to have the right chain. So there are three things besides the cutters, which I'm not going to get into, that we pay attention to. The pitch, which is the distance between each of these links, has to be the same because there's a gear on this end and on that end, and if the pitch is wrong, then it won't fit the gears right. And then the gauge, or the thickness, where it slides into the guide bar here, this one is a .043, so this is a 3/8 pitch, .043 gauge chain, and the drive links, which determine the length of the chain, for this one is a 56 drive link chain, or DL, when you're looking at chains. So we got that 56 DL, 3/8 pitch, .043 gauge chain, and we're going to change that out because it's time for a new chain on this. Alright, and what I have with me to do the chain change is a scrunch, which we'll need, and a pair of cut resistant gloves. So first thing is, I'm going to loosen this just a little bit because it won't really do too much until I loosen these nuts. I'm going to loosen these nuts with the scrunch. Now, I like these because they're captured nuts. I'm a big fan. They stay on the cover and they don't get lost. Now, we'll loosen this up a little bit more with the cover off. And there's a little pin down here, and that's what this moves in and out to tension the chain. And I'm going to slide the bar off of that pin and all the way back. And that gives me enough slack that I can take the chain right off the bar. I got captured underneath there. So we got the old chain off, and we're going to put the new chain on. And the most important thing is we want to make sure that our cutters are facing the right way. So we want the cutters to be going that direction. Slide that into the bar. And now I'm going to slide this back onto the pin, making sure that the chain is in the guide bar. Looks like I got to loosen this up a little bit for that to go on easily. So now that pin is in there. Tension it just a little bit to make sure that the chain stays in the guide bar. See how easy that is, folks? Super easy. Sometimes. Right. Now that's in, and I'm going to put the cover back on, keep everything lined up. I'm just going to do it hand tight, and I'm going to get a little tension on the chain. So the next thing is, how tight do we want the chain? We want it tight enough so that it can't come out, but we don't want it so tight that it's going to stress these gears and have resistance because there's too much tension. And there's a lot of different, you say pull up, but how hard do you pull up? But you don't want it sagging off the bottom. And because you push down on wood, you want to lift that bar and then tension your chain. Turn that up. And you took the sag out. You got a nice tension. I prefer it to be a little tight because it's a brand new chain and it's going to loosen up a little bit. So I got that in place. Check my tension again. That's pretty tight. It's like I say, that's a little tight, but I know this is a new chain and it's going to loosen up. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You're ready to cut. What I always like to do is after I'm done, that's why I put these cut-proof gloves on, I want to spin that chain to make sure something like that doesn't happen. Now, I'm going to loosen that up slightly. Make sure that we're in the groove. And then I'm going to tension that chain again. Take that slack up out the bottom. And tighten it again. And that's why I always like to spin it by hand, just to make sure that doesn't happen when you actually power the chain on. So I'm happy with that tension. I'm happy everything's on. We're good to go do some cutting.